A blonde goes into a Best Buy. She asks a clerk if she can buy the TV in the corner. The clerk looks at her and says that he doesn't serve blondes, so she goes back home and dyes her hair black. The next day she returns to the store and asks the same thing, and again the clerk said he doesn't serve blondes. Frustrated, the blonde goes home and dyes her hair yet again, to a shade of red. Sure that a clerk would sell her the TV this time, she returns and asks a different clerk this time. To her astonishment, this clerk also says that she doesn't serve blondes. The blonde asks the clerk, "How do you know I am a blonde?" The clerk looks at her disgustedly and says, "That's not a TV, it's a microwave." Two little kids are in hospital beds next to each other. The first kid leans over and asks, "What are you here for?" The second kid says, "I'm in here to get my tonsils out and I'm a little nervous." The first kid says, "You've got nothing to worry about. I had that done when I was 4. They put you to sleep, and when you wake up they give you lots of jelly and ice cream. It's a breeze." "Cool," says the second kid. "What are you in here for?" "A circumcision." "Whoa!" exclaims the second kid. "Good luck, mate. I had that done just after I was born and I couldn't walk for a year." A man is strolling past the mental hospital and suddenly remembers an important meeting. Unfortunately, his watch has stopped, and he cannot tell if he is late or not. Then, he notices a patient similarly strolling about within the hospital fence. Calling out to the patient, the man says, "Pardon me, sir, but do you have the time?" The patient calls back, "One moment," and throws himself upon the ground, pulling out a short stick as he does. He pushes the stick into the ground, and, pulling out a carpenter's level, assures himself that the stick is vertical. With a compass, the patient locates north and with a steel ruler, measures the precise length of the shadow cast by the stick. Withdrawing a slide rule from his pocket, the patient calculates rapidly, then swiftly packs up all his tools and turns back to the pedestrian, saying, "It is now precisely 3:29 p.m., provided today is August 16th, which I believe it is." The man can't help but be impressed by this demonstration, and sets his watch accordingly. Before he leaves, he says to the patient, "That was really quite remarkable, but tell me, what do you do on a cloudy day, or at night, when the stick casts no shadow?" The patient holds up his wrist and says, "I suppose I just look at my watch." A trucker stops at a red light and a blonde catches up to him. She knocks on the window and says, "Hi, my name is Heather and you are losing some of your load." The trucker just ignores her, the light changes, and he proceeds down the street. At the next light, the blonde again catches up and says, "Hi, my name is Heather, and you are losing some of your load." He ignores her again and continues down the street. At the next red light the blonde catches up, all out of breath, knocks on the window and says, "Hi, my name is Heather and you are losing some of your load." The trucker looks at her and finally he says, "Hi, my name is Kevin, it's snowing, and I'm driving a salt truck." There was a blonde who was at an all-blonde football game. At halftime she was called down to answer questions to see if she could win $1,000. The first question was, "What is 10 plus 11? She hesitates and says, 5. The host says, "No, I'm sorry, that's incorrect." All of the blondes in the stadium chanted, "Give her another chance, give her another chance." So the host agreed and said, "Okay, how about 5 plus 5? She answers and says 20. Again all the blondes chanted, "Give her another chance, give her another chance." So the host agrees again and says, "Okay, last chance, what is 2 plus 2? The blonde says 4. And the audience says, "Give her another chance, give her another chance." I was sitting in the waiting room of the hospital after my wife had gone into labor, and the nurse walked out and said to the man sitting next to me, "Congratulations, sir, you're the new father of twins." The man replied, "How about that? I work for the Double Mint Chewing Gum Company." The man then followed the woman to his wife's room. About an hour later, the same nurse entered the waiting room and announced that Mr. Smith's wife has just had triplets. Mr. Smith stood up and said, "Well, how do you like that? I work for the 3M company." The gentleman that was sitting next to me then got up and started to leave. When I asked him why he was leaving, he remarked, "I think I need a breath of fresh air." The man continued, "I work for 7-Up. Two children, Johnny and Alex, were sitting outside a clinic. Alex was crying very loudly. "Johnny, why are you crying?" Alex, "I came here for a blood test." Johnny, "So? Are you afraid?" Alex, "No. For the blood test, they cut my finger." After hearing this, Johnny started weeping, making Alex feel surprised as well as curious, and Alex asked, "Why are you crying now?" Johnny, "I came for a urine test." A blonde and her husband were driving home when they hit a rabbit. They both got out of the car and stood over the poor creature. The blonde and her husband just stood there when she said, "Oh, I know." So she went in the car and rummaged through her purse and came out with what looked like a bottle. She poured it on the rabbit and they both got in the car. Suddenly the rabbit got up, hopped a little bit and waved, hopped a little and waved, hopped to the top of the hill and waved. Then disappeared over it. The husband just stared at his wife and said, "Honey, what did you pour on that rabbit?" His wife just said, "Hair restorer with a permanent wave." Two lawyers had been lifelong friends. They were partners and shared everything, including their hot-blooded secretary. One day the secretary announced she was pregnant. They told her not to worry and assured her that they would pay all medical costs and would act as co-fathers when the child was born and provide all expenses thereafter. The day of delivery arrived. Both the lawyers were at the hospital, pacing the floor in the waiting room. Finally, one of them said, "I can't take this. I'm going down to sit in my car and wait there. Please come down and tell me as soon as the child is born." The partner agreed to do that. About an hour later, the partner approached the car with a very grave look on his face. "What happened?" asked the waiting car occupant. The other partner announced, "They are twins." Hey there, I put a lot effort into making these videos, so please subscribe for more jokes and stay happy. Thank you.